Greetings, grasshoppers. This is your RJ. Welcome to Black Belt Bots. And today I've got a great show for you. This show topic stems from a conversation that I was having earlier with Jessica Payne. It was a great show that we had. An interview. I will link to it below. It was a fantastic interview. But in that interview, we were talking about using messenger marketing, using chatbots for education. Now, it all stems from this. I'm currently building a chatbot for a professor who is going to be using this bot to teach his students how to better communicate with their clients. And so we kind of started talking about how it's much less threatening to think about using messenger marketing, using messenger chatbots for education rather than using it for marketing. With marketing, it's like, oh, here's another channel I have to use. Here's another thing, and everybody's going to tell me I have, beat me over the head with I have to do this now, and there's a certain amount of baggage when you're thinking of it. For some folks, when you're thinking of it as a marketing channel. But I want to illustrate a little bit today why Messenger is a perfect education channel. It's magnificent. So first of all, if you kind of like that way of thinking, think about a topic that you would like to educate people on. Maybe it's your products or services. Maybe it's a particular concept. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But think of a topic that you're passionate about teaching people about educating people about. Me, I'm a born teacher. When I was in the first grade, we all went skating. I was really scared to go out there and skate, but then I spotted a group of kindergartners that didn't know how to skate. So I spent the afternoon teaching them how to skate. And then we all got to skate together. My teacher gave me a warm fuzzy for it. It's a big memory. Anyway, I have been teaching people how to do things since the first grade, and I will never stop. It's just in me as a nature. Anyway, some of you are the same way. Some of you, especially, folks that are coaches out there, part of what we do is educate people about, how certain things work. Me, I teach people how technology works. But I have a passion about teaching that particular material. Using Messenger to teach that material it's an excellent format. So what it is I usually build challenges or free mini courses. I build things like that on Facebook Messenger. And these short little, take the 7-day mini course, for example, that comes out once a day for 7 days. And it gives you a little bit of information at a time. Just really, we're thinking about just a spoonful of information at a time. Easily digestible, not super hard work. Sometimes I will also then say, would you like to learn this in addition? And then kind of teach somebody something additional to that, but they can say yes or no there. It's really designed to give information to people a little bit at a time. Why is that important? Because in today's world, you've got so many messages coming at you all the time that your brain starts to filter stuff out automatically. What do you do when you are on, say, your laptop and you're looking at Facebook and there are those ads down the side? Do you read every single one of those? No, you don't. It's called banner blindness. It's a real thing. And whenever ads pop up in banners or in sides now, people just tune that stuff out. There's so much, we tune out more information in a day than we read or listen to or consume in any way. And that's absolutely what's going on. There's so many advertising channels that when faced with that much information, we tune it out. But when people are looking at Messenger, they are communicating with people they care about, people and businesses they care about. When they pick that phone up and you've got a little piece of valuable information that's one piece in a puzzle that you're going to hand them another little piece tomorrow. If that stuff is valuable to people, then it sticks in their brain a little bit better. It means something. The size of that piece of information size is important. It's very, very important because you don't want to give people too much. You don't ever want to lecture. You don't ever want a wall of text in your messenger bot. Just giving people, transferring some information just a little bit at a time. The size of it matters very much. And so other things that you can do to deliver information inside a bot, just to deliver educational information, is, first of all, whatever that piece of information is. Let's take an example from my free mini course. One of the days I teach people what software I use, and I teach people a little bit about ManyChat. So I teach people about ManyChat, and then right after that, there's a link so that you can go to the place and learn about the thing. Then there's also a PDF where I've got some cheat sheet notes so that people who like to read to consume information will get that. And then the next day I come back and I say, okay, what did you learn when you went to ManyChat yesterday? And so I'll ask them a couple of questions about what happened yesterday before I start today's information. What does this do? It helps people continue along a track. It helps people to reflect when they're trying to learn something, to reflect on how this puzzle piece that you're giving them fits into the big picture of what they're trying to learn. Really, really useful to people. In bots, there's so many ways that you can ask people to reflect upon what they're learning and pull a piece out of it. So using bots, using them for education, both for that bite-sized information and getting them to, adding different materials. People learn in different ways. We all know this, right? Some are visual learners. Some people like video. Some people want to read about it. Some people want to hear about it only, just an audio, get it playing on the computer in the background, that kind of a thing. So providing people with different methods, different ways to learn that information so they can choose their own adventure through that. People, when you allow them to choose their own adventure, when you make different ways of accessing the same material, it makes people feel like you thought about them. And you did. When you were putting your bot together, this is what I teach in my course. When you're putting a messenger chatbot together, you are thinking about people. You're thinking about the ways they consume the information. You're thinking about anything that could possibly affect their consumption of that information. You're thinking about all of the things that they want to learn, the objections that they might want to have, all of these things you're building in so that when a person goes through and they choose their own adventure, they feel cared about. They feel like you thought about them. And isn't that the key to building a relationship with a potential client, a potential customer? If you get to the point where you are taking that online conversation that you're having in the messenger bot and you take it offline to, a meeting at a coffee shop or maybe a meeting online, a face-to-face of some kind. If you're taking that online conversation and moving it to face-to-face and the person already feels like you care about them and they already resonate with your teaching style, isn't that the perfect setup to continue that relationship? Maybe in a client type way. So this is really the message for today. Yeah, bots are amazing for education. They're amazing to teach people stuff. Love them to death. Can't get over it. I love using the angle of focusing on teaching people rather than focusing on selling people. Are you, with your marketing, are you closing a sale or are you opening a relationship? Me, I'm going to open as many relationships as I can. I'm going to open as many as I can because there are people out there who respond to my way of teaching, to my personality. There are people out there that respond. If I get in front of enough, if I have as many conversations as I can with people, then I'm going to gather the circle of people who want to work with me and want to collaborate with me. That's what I really want out of all of this. So it's all about prepping people to also, for them to decide, do I want to work with this person or not? We talked about this earlier on the show too. When when you're educating people, what's the importance of your style of educating people? Why do we have so many math teachers? I've talked about this a little bit too. We have so many math teachers. They're all teaching the same thing. Nobody's teaching anything new. I run into a lot of entrepreneurs who are like, I don't want to put my stuff online because then somebody's going to copy me. Maybe they will. And in fact, probably somebody's going to rip you off somewhere down the line. No idea when or where, but it happens to most of us. The thing is, nobody can ever copy you. Nobody can ever copy your approach, your style. People make an emotional decision about who they want to watch on a live stream, who they want to have a further conversation with, who they want to hire. People make emotional decisions and then back them up with facts. Hey, Kim. Yeah, that's right. In this day and age, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when people are going to rip you off. I know, right? It is just ridiculous. And I mean, it's important to come to terms with that fact, and it's important to make friends with it. Me, I'm totally friends with it. That is fine. You know what? There are a ton of people teaching messenger marketing these days. There are a ton of them. Why would you come to me instead of somebody else? If you've had an emotional reaction to me that makes you, that makes you feel comfortable with me or my style, then you make that decision, to work with me or not to work with me. And then I have a hi. Well, hello. I am so glad to see you today. So people make emotional decisions about who they're going to work with, and then they back it up with facts. Have you ever been evaluating a small group of people that you might buy services from, and you pick maybe the more expensive one, and then you start justifying, that with facts? You've made the emotional decision to work with that person already, and now you're backing that up. We do it in dating, we do it in job interviews, we do it everywhere we go. We make emotional decisions and back them up with facts. So when you are working with messenger marketing, when you are writing these chatbots, if you can put your personality in there, if you can treat them like an educational experience, put your personality in there, put your teaching style in there, and take advantage of that format to be able to deliver sometimes difficult concepts through Messenger, then the people that respond to that, you've won those relationships. You've opened those doors that people are going to take. People know where you are now. If they ever have a need for something, I've had people listen to me talk about bots and sort of turn that conversation off a little bit because that is really almost all I talk about. That and gaming. Don't even get me started on that gaming stuff. But I've had people go, yeah, that's not for me, and then come back to me 3, 4, 5 months later because all of a sudden they saw a need for it and they knew exactly where to go. There wasn't any shopping going on. So if you are having trouble fitting that concept in your brain that this is yet another marketing tool, you know what? Don't treat it as a marketing tool at all. Don't treat it as a marketing tool. Treat it as this is your personal platform to teach as many people as you can about your favorite concept. Whatever that favorite concept is, mine is obviously bots. But think about it as a vehicle, a platform to teach people. You can take questions in a bot. You can. I take them all the time. You can test people in a bot. You can quiz people in a bot. I have not built a quiz in my bots at this point, but I might if I see, if I see that could be cool. I might try it. But you can figure out what somebody's level of knowledge is and then teach them at their level of knowledge. I met with some folks yesterday. We were talking about bots, and I knew that I had talked about bots in a group with this person before. So before I started talking to her about, this is what a bot is and all that, I said, okay, how much do you remember from some of the group sessions we've had? She said, nothing, start from scratch. I'm like, okay, sweet, I'll start from scratch. Easy to do in a one-on-one conversation, isn't it? It's so easy because you're like, okay, I want to figure out what this person knows so that I can start on a level that they feel is valuable. In a bot, I can do that at scale, right? I can ask the 10 people I'm having a conversation with, hey, what level of knowledge are you at? And then build paths, build the from scratch, does not know what this thing is path. Build I have a little knowledge about this, but I'd really like a lot more information. And to build the other path, which is I'm pretty knowledgeable on this already. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. If you build those things in, then you can handle anyone. You can teach anyone about bots and you can start at their level of knowledge. So they're a beautiful educational tool. I hope that if you have the opportunity to educate somebody about something, say maybe you're going to go and speak at a conference sometime soon. I know that many of you are. You're going to speak at a conference sometime soon. Awesome things to do are to get them, onto a messenger bot and then ask them what their level of knowledge is about your topic. Ask them, what do they want to hear during the presentation? Get those Q&A questions. You know how, there's a lot of speakers will do that. They'll take Q&A questions, and it's kind of a tough environment for people because then they got to get up and be in front of everybody and have everybody hear their question and not stutter or, their shoes untied or whatever. People are super nervous about doing that. So what if you gathered all that information beforehand and tailor your presentation to the people that you know are going to be sitting in that audience? It's so much of a better educational experience. We, and Kim B knows this because she used to be a teacher in high school. We are tied in America. We are tied to this concept that it's an industrial production of education. It is. We are presenting this information, all of the same information, to a very, very different group of people. A typical classroom is filled with kids of all levels of knowledge, right? But we're only going to teach one, we're going to deliver this stuff one way to this bunch of people, and it's up to them to adapt it to a way that they learn. Well, so for bots, it's completely different. I can adapt the bot to your level of knowledge. I can adapt it to what you want to learn instead of just teaching you what I think you ought to know. So bots are perfect educational experiences, darlings. If you have trouble thinking of it as a marketing channel, then think of it as an educational experience. And I think that you might, that might really trip your trigger into, let's stop marketing to people. Let's educate people. Let's open as many conversations as we possibly can, more than humanly possible. Let's open as many conversations as we can and teach and educate and give. Because it's when we're doing that, then we can, it's so much easier to be genuine. And so much, so much easier to be ourselves, to be genuine, deliver our message instead of copying somebody else's message. So anyway, that's our show for today. I'm so happy you came. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Kim, thanks for writing in. I am going to be doing a show Thursday, but I'm also starting a regular show. Kim's got a comment here. And it's long, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Whoop! Traditional education forced by the government to teach to the test. Sorry not to get political, but I mean, it is. And it is the most ridiculous thing. That's also a huge problem with marketing today. Businesses talk about how great they are and how great their products and services are. We don't fit into our clients' and customers' stories that way. Exactly. So, Kim's been talking about this a lot. And if you're not following Kim Boltzma, I need you to follow some Boltzma. All right. Follow A Cup of Content wherever you see it. Follow Kim Boltzma wherever you see her, because she's having this conversation with people too on their website copy and on everything else. If your website's a brag sheet, even if it's a veiled brag sheet, I don't know that that's interesting to people. I know it's not interesting to me. We provide award-winning services for blah, 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 blah. It's almost, it's one of those things that people copy like crazy and put on their websites or whatever. Kim says bots are a fantastic way to get into our clients' and customers' stories. Absolutely. So point being, if you are seeing things from a customer or from a potential client perspective, if you are getting into where are their pain points, what has their journey been like to hear? And if you're fitting yourself into what coming at that from their perspective rather than shouting about, how cool you are, which I've totally done on my websites. Don't get me wrong. I've done this in websites. I've done it in emails. How unfortunate. I have done it many times because that's kind of what we're taught to do as marketers. Tell them how great you are. They'll turn back around and want to buy something from you. Be confident. Sell with confidence. Yeah. I don't want to sell anymore. I don't want to market anymore. I don't ever want to be fake again. I want to help people along in their journey. I want to educate them on some of the best ways I know to start conversations and build relationships with people. That's what I want to do. And bots are a great way to do that. Live streaming, obviously, I believe in live streaming or I wouldn't be here. Live streaming is a great way to open conversation too. Open conversations, educate people, serve, and give them valuable information. And people won't ever go anywhere else. They just won't ever go anywhere else. So anyway, yeah, I have some rants about traditional education, Kim Boltzma, because you have heard them. But when you educate people in your bot, when you have conversations with them, you don't want to turn out, the factory version of this is what you need to know to know about bots now. You want them to have an experience that they'll remember. You want to create an enhanced experience that they'll remember. So if you want to learn how to do that, and you like my teaching style, come check me out. Check out mybot.com. That's my 7-day free mini course. Totally take me up on that. That will show you, that'll give you just a bit of information each day on what bots are, what they can do for you, why you need to know about them, how to build them, the whole shebang, 7-day mini course. It's free. It's right there at checkoutmybot.com. Also, if you know a little bit about bots, but you've been, you want to start, but you just kind of been hesitant on how do I start? I got your solution. Startyourbot.com. That is a 5-day challenge. You can go from right now to 5 days from now having a customer service bot on your website or Facebook page, Facebook business page, that is. That's a startyourbot.com. I'm so glad you're here. Tune in Thursday, 1 o'clock Central. We're going to have another fantastic bot topic. Kim says it's a great challenge. She's been through it. Thank you, Kim. I love that challenge. It is just simple enough that people can show themselves that they can do something, that they can really build a bot. And so I'm really excited about that challenge. Visit us if this hasn't been too painful, visit me on Thursday. If you're a part of the Be Live group, I'm doing a show with Steven on Wednesdays now, and we're going to be talking about bots and live streaming and how those two venues complement each other one heck of a lot. It's going to be a great show. And yeah, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, you can find me on blackbeltbots.com. And I will see you in a bot.